Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about this video. It's actually going to be the first on my channel in sort of a series on saving money on food, meal prepping, and how to simplify the whole food part of your budget. So let's just jump right into my 6 favorite tips for how to start saving money on food. My first tip would be to significantly decrease the number of times that you eat out. So I'm not saying to never eat out. I know that's not really realistic. It's fun to go out to eat, but it can be really expensive. So if you're going to eat out, just be really intentional with it. Make a plan in advance. You want to make it special. So my advice would be to cut out eating out whenever possible, except for maybe just a few special occasions, maybe twice a month. This next tip will really help you with number 1 because it is to prep your meals. There are a lot of ways to do this. There's tons of videos out on YouTube. Some people do 1 day a week and they just make like 3 different meals and they make 4 or 5 servings of each meal, and that sort of preps their like lunches, dinners, or whatever meals that you need prepped for their entire week. And I think that's a really good way to do it. I have done it that way. Lately, I've just been trying to make like triple the amount of dinner that we need every time I make dinner. So my goal every time I make dinner is that we'll eat dinner that night, we'll have leftovers of it the second night, and then I want to put at least 2 lunches in the freezer for my husband to take to work. For me at least, I'm at home and I cook quite often, and so for me this is just the easiest way to meal prep because it doesn't really require any extra time or effort or work. I just have to maybe chop a few extra things when I'm cooking so I can make really large batches of things. I also prep breakfast burritos for both of us, and I do that maybe twice a month. Every time I make a batch of breakfast burritos, I make like 20 to 30, so it lasts quite a while, and I don't eat those every day by any means. My husband will take one every day to work and eat his breakfast when he gets there, so he doesn't have to worry about it in the morning, so that works really great for him. For anybody that might have to be out of the door early in the morning to get to work or wherever. But for this, I pretty much just use whatever we have, whatever we feel like. My husband will like egg, potato, sausage, spinach, cheese, all of that just in a burrito. And then my favorite that I've been making is like a sweet potato black bean burrito. Yeah, you can kind of just get creative and do whatever you like. You can also prep breakfast sandwiches in this way if burritos aren't your favorite. What makes this one really great for breakfasts is that I can make like 20 or 30 at a time, and that sets us up for at least a couple of weeks. My next tip would be to develop a core grocery list, or like a master grocery list. I've said in past videos that my grocery list is pretty much the exact same every single week. To do this, I use Google Keep. It's an app that's just really helpful for making lists, and then my husband and I can both be on the list, so we both have access to it from our phones. Our ongoing master list is always stored in Google Keep. Every time we need to add something to our list, we just go and uncheck it from the checked items below, and then it pops back up on our list as something that we need to buy. So when I'm making my grocery list, it's super easy. I just sit down and scroll through all the things on our core grocery list and decide what we need, what we are out of, and that is what makes it onto the list for the week. So from week to week, it kind of depends what we've used up and what we need. But our master list, all the things that we actually do purchase at the store, is relatively the same. I am planning on talking about this more in a future video. If you're curious, like everything that's on there and what I do with it, videos on those things will be coming, and I'm super excited to share it. But my advice would just be to sort of weed out all of the ingredients that you buy, like maybe for just one recipe, or you just are getting impulsively, and stick to things that you know you're going to use, you know you have recipes or meals that you'll use them up in. For us at least, that's really helped us stick to our budget and really eliminate any like waste or anything that goes bad in our fridge. So that's been super helpful. My next tip would be to shop, do your grocery shopping, and then meal plan. And I know that's backwards from how most people do it, and occasionally I will kind of do it the other way. But for the most part, since our list is the same every single week, all of the ingredients that we want to be stocked up on remains the same. All I have to do to grocery shop is make sure that we have, all of the black beans I think we'll need for the week, or all of the spinach that I think we'll need for the week, sweet potatoes, whatever it is. And because we have this core grocery list, all I have to do is make sure we're stocked up on everything, and after I get home and I kind of see what I want to use up or what I should be using first, then I meal plan based on what we have. and that has worked so well for me. It takes all the stress off of making the grocery list. And if that's your mindset, it's really easy to not let things go bad in your fridge, because if you look in there before you even decide what you're cooking that day or the next day and say, oh wow, I have like zucchini that's maybe, you know, on its last day or whatever, like you got to use that for dinner that night. It might be a little bit hard to get used to, but once you get the hang of it and you're kind of in a groove and you have go-to things that you like to cook, it really just simplifies and it helps eliminate waste so much. So I just really highly recommend it. Tip number 5 is to freeze stuff. If you were to go look in my fridge on any given week, you'll probably see a lot more in my freezer than in my fridge. We do buy like fresh produce and all of that type of stuff for the fridge every single week, but like I mentioned, I'm always kind of like looking through the fridge and seeing what needs to be used up, what's like, you know, not bad yet but about to go bad. And whenever something needs to get used up but it's not my intention to use it that night, maybe I already have leftovers that we're eating for dinner, or whatever the case may be, I was looking forward to like a different dish, I will do whatever I need to do to it to put it in the freezer so that we can use it later, whether that's just chop it up and throw it in the freezer, or sometimes I might need to like boil it or steam it or cook it somehow and then put it in the freezer, then it's just ready to pull out and eat. Whatever it might be, I am always putting stuff in my freezer. Tips 1 through 5 might be like what tips, or like the things you actually would want to start implementing to start saving money on food and simplifying. And tip number 6 is kind of the how, like how do you jump in and do all that stuff. And my tip is to just get out of your comfort zone. I know before we started doing all this, you know, I like had a totally different way of meal prepping, and I had all these different other favorite recipes that used expensive ingredients. And in order to create like a positive change and get to where we are now, I had to sort of let go of all the things that I already thought I knew and all of the go-tos I had, and just really get out of my comfort zone and start trying new recipes, start trying new things. And when it came to recipes that I already just really liked, I just looked at them and said, like, how can I alter this? What ingredients can we go without and it wouldn't change the quality or change the taste of it in any way, but that would save us, you know, from having to purchase a whole ingredient. We actually have switched to like 90% of like a plant-based diet, and that's for a whole bunch of different reasons, but we sort of did that around the same time I started implementing a lot of these different meal planning techniques. And so that really threw us for a loop. Most of my go-to recipes had like chicken or beef, and it's not that we're like 100% against buying those. We just have been trying to sort of branch out and get out of our comfort zone and try other things. So I've been doing a lot more stuff with like potatoes or beans, and I've had to sort of recreate some of my favorite like beef recipes with beans or potatoes, and I have been having so much fun doing that. Yeah, so if you're just getting out of your comfort zone and getting creative and trying new things to sort of make these other positive changes, it can actually be really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Make sure and leave it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos on like meal prepping and more specifics on that. I have a lot of stuff planned and I'm really excited about it. But thank you guys so much for watching today. I will see you next week with another video. Bye!